praises to the Most High Elohim. I'm grateful for your love and supporting me. Thank you for the protection from your Malakim. It's always more to yourself than the self-esteem. Stay pure and endure for the time is near. Don't try to sell your soul to the auctioneer or give your life to the world like a souvenir. Now you gotta hold the light like a chandelier. Be ready to give your life like a volunteer. Cause when the Mashiach died, they forgot him here. Yeah, it's hard to say goodbye with your father here. So keep spreading all his love into the atmosphere. I need you, Abiyah, I need somebody help. I don't know how to walk it, but you got my steps. I need you, Abiyah, I need nobody else. Please don't leave me, Abiyah, I got nobody else. Our people keep running in the dark, picking fights. We're supposed to be the children of the day, not the night. But you wanna kill folks trying to plan a drive-by. You posted on the corner, sipping on the dirty Sprite. Got the bud in your hand, hit it once, hit it twice. Now you're thinking you're the man, so you hop about the ride. All black with a 9 in your hand in disguise, trying to catch folks lacking when you're walking outside. So you pulled up on the gang, thinking that he gotta die. Never thought I would you would be the first one to take my life. But you feeling like you're missing another chance to stay alive. Now it's time to repent for your sins and get it right. I need you, Abiyah, I need somebody help. I need you, Abiyah, I need nobody else. I need you, Abiyah, I need somebody help. I don't know how to walk it, but you got my steps. I need you, Abiyah, I want nobody else. Please don't leave me, Abiyah, I got nobody else.
Yeah, what's up with a rock? You feel me? Follow the mouse, don't follow man. Let's get it, Lee. Hit that record, Digi. Trench Brews. I'm dealing with pain for sure. Struggling in life, day-to-day stuff, but I did find some hope. Thank you, Yahuwah, for mercy. Yeah, this is the way to go. Took a few shots from people around me, but it didn't make me fold. Consuming the pressure, rule out my vest. Abba has made me bold. Protecting myself, value my health. Demons be creeping slow. Gotta watch out, watching your steps. This is a narrow road. All of my life, still in the fight. This is the way we chose. This is the path we chose. Yeah. First off, I'm all in. Chips down like a poker game. Be careful who you call friends. Some people don't move the same. Stormy days, I embrace the rain. Heavy showers touch my roots and things. Stretch around me like a choker chain. Hit the mark like a shooting range. Changed my action from last year. And they can say I move different. A lot of trees, they lose leaves. Some people couldn't come with me. Without direction, we fall victim. Strips correct, stand tall with me. I got some flaws, I'm trying to fix them. Kingdom coming, I want to witness. See the signs that time ticking. Yahuwah made my mind different. Life's crazy, it's a rocky river. Men falling streets, yelling timber. Love my kids, I stay near them. Missing father is a weak member. I'll heal these weak members. On this path, my feet tender. Open ears when I talk to them. Action add to my mouth moving. Not speed in this time cruising. Without tour, your life losing. Got work to do, gotta get my tools. Raw connect just like some glue. Just watch the people who watching you. Then plus, hey, I'm dealing with pain for sure. Struggling in life, day-to-day stuff, but I did find some hope. Thank you, Yahuwah, for mercy. Yeah, this is the way to go. Took a few shots from people around me, but it didn't make me fold. Consuming the pressure, rule out my vest. Abba has made me bold. Protecting myself, value my health. Demons be creeping slow. Gotta watch out, watching your steps. This is a narrow road. All of my life, still in the fight. This is the way we chose.
Shout out
this
to the
is the path we chose. Yeah.
I seen my brothers take one on the chin and he ain't even respond. Smoke 14, verse 14. Now a year later we on. I know we're kings when we learn some things, but we can't forget that we pause. Oh, you an artist, but what's an artist compared to the pictures you who have been drawn? I got my hands full trying to be a neighbor, an uncle, and a good father. Talk to Yahuwah all of my closet. Ruach telling us to go harder. Saying Deuteronomy chapter 4, don't forget what Torah done taught us. It's a narrow road, trying to save a soul. Got these scriptures all in our car, cause I say 613 lifestyle. The old man better pipe down. We used to brawl, then I learned the law, and I took it all in the ninth round. It's that living water, get you wiped down. Yahuwah in our sights now. I'm with good company. Electric company can't even turn these lights down. Faithful all the wounds of friends, so I had to lock in with my brothers. Storms made them show their true colors, even the ones that said that they love us. I thank Yahuwah for my shiach, sending comfort through all my struggles. Cause I felt the pain and we felt the rain, but we learned to dance in them puddles.
I'm dealing with pain for sure. Struggling in life, day-to-day stuff, but I did find some hope. Thank you, Yahuwah, for mercy. Yeah, this is the way to go. Took a few shots from people around me, but it didn't make me fold. Consuming the pressure, rule out my vest. Abba has made me bold. Protecting myself, value my health. Demons be creeping slow. Gotta watch out, watching your steps. This is a narrow road. All of my life, still in the fight. This is the way we chose. This is the path we chose.
Look, they say I changed, I had to. I keep having dreams, I keep seeing scenes. It's ugly and that's what you'll pass through. I wake up and praise, I be so amazing. Grateful like, look where he had you. The Father, he wants you, he grabbed you. The world was feeding you bad food. He not a disciple, he stabbed you. Is you really keeping the laws? Can I leave you around my family? Can I leave you around my wife? You gon' keep the commandments or damage me. You my ox, so I'm definitely planning. See, I just test you to see what your strategy. If you keep the commandments, you family. If not, get out, don't be mad at me. You seeking salvation, yeah. Enduring the pain, enduring the rain, enduring the thunder. Remember them shots could have taken me under. The devil really thought that he had my number. The Father waking me out of the slumber. Waking the tribes, cause I really love you. We is not enemies, you is my brother. Let's keep the commandments, take care of one another. Hey. This is the life we chose. I made a vow to Yah, and Aki and I never fold. No. This is the life we chose. I made a vow to Yah, endure, you know how it go.
I'm dealing with pain for sure. Struggling in life, day-to-day stuff, but I did find some hope. Thank you, Yahuwah, for mercy. Yeah, this is the way to go. Took a few shots from people around me, but it didn't make me fold. Consuming the pressure, rule out my vest. Abba has made me bold. Protecting myself, value my health. Demons be creeping slow. Gotta watch out, watching your steps. This is a narrow road. All of my life, still in the fight. This is the way we chose. This is the path we chose. Yeah.
Hey, you ready to go to
bring a light to the dark. We posted up out of park. We got a couple of signs. We bringing people to God. We turn and pray to the east. We never bow to the beast. We bring a prayer to the Sabbath and bid the people to feast. We bringing light to the dark. We posted up out of park. We got a couple of signs. We bringing people to God. We turn and pray to the east. We never bow to the beast. We bring a prayer to the Sabbath and bid the people to feast. Judah a lion. In Bethel we learned to Zion when our father fell asleep on the rock. Now we consider wide awake when we don't sleep on the rock. So still be snoozing. The stone the builders refusing. Came back around just to bruise them. I wonder who can get through to them. No one but the spirit. So I wrapped a couple letters in packages like a lyric. They distracted cause they heard we the actual people living. They counteract with conjecture. We battle axes and menaces. Limitless, it's a whole vibe. Me and my brothers come together like a whole tribe. Bashamayim, while my artists keep your soul tied to the Father through commandments till your soul rise. Lord knows. We bring a light to the dark. We posted up out of park. We got a couple of signs. We bringing people to God. We turn and pray to the east. We never bow to the beast. We bring a prayer to the Sabbath and bid the people to feast. We bringing light to the dark. We posted up out of park. We got a couple of signs. We bringing people to God. We turn and pray to the east. We never bow to the beast. We bring a prayer to the Sabbath and bid the people to feast. Maybe mix a few drinks, take a sip. That bottle is for the fathers that never got to be here. We live in prophecy clear. We walk in obvious fear. We see in Joshua trees that water salty in here. That's why we hardly can breathe. Our mental foggy in here. The Father gon' have to burn it. These demons lofty in here. Yo. Don't trip, every place that your soul's hit. Know that you're gonna be ruling these nations, don't quit. He who endures, he has faith. And he who retreats, he lacks patience. Remedial black faces, couldn't walk the line like Jack Chases. Blind leading blind, now that's Mace. Stop following base men. Keep this living from in front of me. I don't wanna hear them words come because of me. I pray for grace to appear in the spirit just to come to me. Until then I'm moving humbly. Lord knows. We bring a light to the dark. We posted up out of park. We got a couple of signs. We bringing people to God. We turn and pray to the east. We never bow to the beast. We bring a prayer to the Sabbath and bid the people to feast. We bring your light to the dark. We posted up out of park. We got a couple of signs. We bringing people to God. We turn and pray to the east. We never bow to the beast. We bring a prayer to the Sabbath and bid the people to feast.
Passover. It's the season of holy convocations. Leviticus 23 and 4. Moses commanded the elders of Israel, strike blood across the door. The Passover, time to purge out the leavening and let the blood shine bright. Cause the first sons born of Israel was saved that night. 1 Corinthians chapter 5. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Luke 22 and 7 says that that day must be fulfilled and the Passover must be killed. Now the Passover is holy and kept in honor, so you must be clean. The Most High covers that in Numbers 9, 6 through 13. Loins girded strong, staff in your hand. You must be haste and eat. Be sure those boots strapped tight and fast on your feet. Get rid of all the malice and wickedness in your heart. Be sincere to the word when you're breaking that bread apart. The Most High didn't come for the whole world, but Israel instead. Let's come together united in Yahweh and break this bread.
To the dark, we posted up out of park. We got a couple of signs. We bringing people to God. We turn and pray to the east. We never bow to the beast. We bring a prayer to the Sabbath and bid the people to feast. We bring your light to the dark. We posted up out of park. We got a couple of signs. We bringing people to God. We turn and pray to the east. We never bow to the beast. We bring a prayer to the Sabbath and bid the people to feast.
Me and my brothers, they gon' roll for me. They oppose me. They get souls for me. Me and my brothers, they gon' roll for me. They oppose me. They get souls for me. Me and my brothers, they gon' roll for me. They oppose me. They get souls for me. Me and my brothers, they gon' roll for me. They oppose me. They get souls for me. Me and my brothers. Saturdays, we be out teaching on corners. We be out speaking to corners, hoping to bring a few fish to the Adawan. We be out teaching in Babylon. A lot of these niggas can't phase us. A lot of these brothers we speaking to wanna bring kingdom to whitey nations. And we just want reparations. And we just wanna see Esau in chains. Half of you niggas saw Django in chain. Half of you niggas saw Toya a slave. Still wanna say the oppressor. This is a cut, keep it a buck. None of my brothers is keeping it shut. Open the book and we bringing them cuts. Every baby we bringing them up. Elevation, we teaching them what? The Bible is prophecy, look in the book. The Bible is prophecy, look in the book. We've been looking at pages. Now we can see that it's talking to me. Now we can see that it's talking to we. Posted up deep, bringing water for free. My brothers,
gon' roll for me. They oppose me. They get souls for me. Me and my brothers, they gon' roll for me. They oppose me. They get souls for me. Me and my brothers, they gon' roll for me. They oppose me. They get souls for me. Me and my brothers, they gon' roll for me. They oppose me. They get souls for me. Me and my brothers.
Sabbath days, we be out teaching them corners. We be out teaching the corners, teaching them put something through on your borders. Sabbath day, we be out teaching them corners. We be out teaching the through on your borders. Sabbath day, we be out teaching the corners. We be out teaching the corners, teaching them put something through on their borders. Sabbath day, we be out teaching them corners. We be out teaching the corners, teaching them put something through on their borders. Sabbath day, we be out teaching them corners. We be out teaching the corners, teaching them put something through on your borders. Sabbath day, we be out teaching them corners.
Black skin, black sauce, black Jesus, black music, 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 black music, black music, black music, black music, black music, black music. Black music, 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 black music,
How you now out to whoppers us come together. Carbonated bonds bringing suns together. Black light shim down through Absalom. Scatter worldwide, but we one together. My toasters, image of God. Melanated vibes keep the spirit inside. Separated tribes till the spirit revives. So we raised by the sun, you get blazed by the sun. Sunscreen, no need for that. If you ain't got Z's, no need to chat. We get that water so deep, we breathing that. You getting washed by the word, no need for pastor. Bring back them sheep to pasture. Can't wait for the feast to happen. They bugged out from the trees they eat. Halakada wide road, man, we on the small street singing.
black skin, black sauce, black Jesus, black music, 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 black
Zephaniah 2 and 1. And you know we had where them shooters from. Even though we pack like chewing gum, you tryna be by yourself like Eric Carmen. We got more than hair in common. Used to love like her in common. It's all a blur, these words are comments. Living water in my words and comments. You ain't never learned a word in college. That's why we always posted on the curb in projects. When you black like us, you deserve the knowledge. When you act like us, they observe you probably. Black niggas preaching you the father seed. It's in the books the forefathers couldn't read. They bugged out from the trees they eat. Halakada wide road, man, we on the small street singing.
black skin, black sauce, black Jesus, black music, 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 black music. black skin, black sauce, black Jesus, black music, 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 black music, black music, black music, black music, what up, black music, black music, what up, black music, black music, what up, black music, black music, black music, black music, black music, what up, black music, black music, what up, black music, black music, what up, black music. How you know my two opposites come together?
Shalom, shalom, shalom. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Okay.
Put a 7 in the chat if we clear. Woo, my brother Yawasabi dark, boy. You gotta get some light, man.
Shalom, shalom, yasha man. Hey. Flock.
It's all good.
Oh, man, I got my light right here.
That's your light right there, right? That's right. Hey, look, that's what I'm talking about. Surrounded by man.
All praise to the Most High.
All praise to the Most High. Hey, man, can't wait till that light be in our inward parts, man.
Hey, calm.
You know what I'm saying? Had a nice little discussion yesterday about new covenant, the covenants. People really feel like they're in the new covenant. People really feel like the covenant or the covenants are for everybody, man. How can we prove that it's not? How can we prove that the covenants is for Israel, y'all? I want the covenants and I want the new covenant. How can we prove those two is for Israel? In the chat first, book, chapter, verse. Shabbat shalom, everybody. In the chat first, book, chapter, verse, before we get into everything.
Hey, look, my rib gave me a light.
Hey, all praises, all praises.
Yo.
Hey, you know what? Just for that, man. Let's take this time in this moment while y'all getting that stuff together to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai, man. All praises and honor and glory go to the Father Yahweh in the name of his Son, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, man. Hey, man, all praise to the Most High, man, for his grace and his mercy. And we pray and ask that the Ruach Hadash, the Holy Spirit, will move throughout this lesson, throughout our lives, man, throughout our nation. Healing, subduing, fixing, whatever it is that we need. We hope and pray that the Most High will send his mercy upon us, man. You know what I'm saying? Some brothers and some sisters need a smack. You know what I'm saying? You need to be broken down before you can get healed, man. Yo, I put myself in that category too. Sometimes you got to get brought low before you can get brought back up. But let's prove the position. I see Captain Yahweh in the building. I'm gonna get to everybody in a minute, but I see Captain Yahweh put Romans 9:4. Let's read that real quick.
This is the book of
Yahweh dropped both the precepts. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, go ahead.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 9. And can I start verse 3?
You can start wherever you want to.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 9 and verse 3. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertains the adoption and the glory.
Slow down right there real quick, right? We all heard this breakdown before. But a lot of people are followers of Paul, and a lot of people don't realize that Paul teaches the law. Paul is an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? Paul knows the law, and he's talking to people who know the law. You know what I'm saying? And one of the first things he said, man, who pertains to the what? Read that first line again.
To whom pertaineth the adoption.
Yo, the very first thing he says is the adoption. If you want to come back to your culture, come back to who you are, it pertains to you. Israelite man, woman, and child. It pertains to you. You have the right to do so. You know what I'm saying? To come back to your father. Man, that's a mercy right there, man. A lot of people don't get. We should be thankful every day for that mercy.
All right.
Keep going.
And the glory, and the covenants.
Yo, that's right there is what we talking about right now. The covenants, all the covenants pertain to Israel. Finish that up and then get Hebrews 10 and 8 from the outside.
And the giving of the law and the service of Yahweh. And
Hey man, the service of the Most High God. Everybody in this world needs gonna have to bow. But the fact of the matter is, it's people that's entrusted for the service of the Most High God. That's spreading this word. That's making the menorahs. That's keeping things holy. That's establishing the law. All these things are services of the Most High God. And it's only certain people that's entitled or entrusted with those abilities, with that authority, man. And those are the Israelites. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead and read that real quick. We're gonna pass the mic. I can't stay on all day. I still gotta get myself together for camp. But keep going.
Kyle, you on Hebrews 8 and 10, right?
Is that what I said? 8 and 10. Well, I said it the wrong way, so I can.
Yeah, Kyle. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 8, and verse number 10. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days.
With who?
With the house of Israel after those days.
Does it say other nations involved in that covenant? So where do they see this at? I seen a brother a minute ago say he struggles with this. They'll read these two scriptures, man. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna make the covenant with the house of Israel's in those days. It's a future prophecy. You know what I'm saying? And if we actually can keep going, we could go to Ezekiel 20 and show that those people who will be brought into the wilderness, those people who get purged, the rebels be purged out, those are the people who will go under the bond of the covenant. You know what I'm saying? Even if you have people that are cleave, even if you have laws for them other nations, Israel is given the authority to establish the law. That's who the covenant is with. All the other nations will have to fall in line underneath the establishment of the law, the establishment of who the Most High God has to set that covenant with.
Thanks.
So that's what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? We have to say things the right way. Other nations get an opportunity to be saved. They do. But that's being in compliance with the laws of the Most High God, being in compliance with the Israelites, you know what I'm saying, who are establishing the law in the earth. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not doing that, it's going to be a tough day for you.
That's right.
If you don't come to the Most High God, you don't come to serve him, you can be utterly wasted. Or you don't get no rain. You don't get no food. You don't get no growth. You don't get no wisdom. You know what I'm saying? That's as good as being dead, according to Ezekiel in the valley of the dry bones. Without wisdom, man, you as good as dead. Man, I think we might be going a little too rough this morning. Hey, and Shar Shabbat Shalom once again, man. Your brother Aharon with the brother Yawasat, brother Boaz. Hopefully we might be able to get another reader in here. Like I said, if brothers is able, let us know in the chat. Boaz, if you could check that, you can send that link out, or at least put it in the Sabbath Morning Brew chat. So anybody might want to come on and read. I might have to jump off a little early, like I said. But yeah, man, let's get to the acknowledgments for the people, man. Let's jump right into the lesson, man. I'm actually excited, man. Boaz is teaching this morning. Soldier Boaz is teaching this morning, man.
You know, hey, I got a quick precept off of that. As far as who the covenants and the promises was established to, just to add on, so you could add this to your quiver, as the brother Adonai Yawasat would say. This is the book of Galatians, chapter 3, verse 16. It says, "Now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made. He saith not, and to seeds as of many, but as of one, and to thy seed, which is Mashiach Yahushai." So even right there in the book of Galatians, it's saying, like, because it was told in Genesis that Abraham was going to be a father of many nations, but it's saying this specific promises wasn't just to all seeds; it was to a specific seed.
It's facts.
But I yield.
Now that's facts. That's facts. Another thing to add to that too, you just reminded me, man. Psalms 50 and 5. It says, "Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. So the saints, man, have made a covenant with the Most High God by sacrifice, man. Those saints are the Israelites. You know what I'm saying? Psalms 148 and 14 says, he also exalted his horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even the children of Israel, a people near unto him, praise ye the Lord. So we established that, man, that the saints are the Israelites, and they have made a covenant with the Most High God. Other nations didn't make that covenant, man. Nations who was just round about with us didn't make the same covenant that the Israelites made, man. Hey, man. And with that, man, let's get to the people. Hope everybody's doing great today, man. Sister Joanne Gilchrist in the building. Sis, I'm sorry for your loss. I seen your post early this morning. Always praying for you, sis, man. See who we got up here. Akmasha, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. Gabriella, Shalom, sis. Zanaya, Shar Shabbat, Shalom. Be like ants, Shar Shabbat. Sister L, Shar Shabbat, sis. All praise to the Most High, man. James Green, Yaqua, Shar Shabbat. Laura Harris, Shar Shabbat. Let's see what else we got. Abaya in the building, Shar Shabbat. Nadiyab, Shar Shabbat, bro. Shemaya, AHOS Shemaya, Shar Shabbat. Sky, Shalom, sis. Sister Christella, Shalom, Shalom. House of Shemaya in the building. Let's see, y'all, what's up? Y'all, what's up? Might be it. Oh, Yahawada, Captain Yahawada in the building. Good morning, Shar Shabbat. We'll see you in a few. I said Shemaya, James Green. I think that's everybody, man. Kind of. Oh, AHOS Kadash, so the Kadash in the building. Yael, Shar Shabbat, Yael. I ain't seen you, Shar Shabbat. World Without End. I forgot who said that, who that was. I forgot. I ain't gonna blow it up, but I forgot who that was. You know what I'm saying? Ben Yam Yam in the buildings. Shar Shabbat, Shalom. And Larita, Sister Larita, Shar Shabbat, Shalom, sis. All praise to the Most High God, man. The water, for y'all being in the comments and the class, and everybody else who's not in the comments, who's just listening. True, sis, true. See, I knew you was listening, sis. Everybody else who's just listening, you know what I'm saying, a Shar Shabbat Shalom. Hope you have a great Sabbath, and I hope this lesson is edifying for you in your spirit and your family.
Okay.
With that, man, hey man, y'all already know we do the Smooth Like Butter. Check that out after the Sabbath. Smooth Like Butter. Jonathan book. What's the title? A Time Forever. Yeah, check that out too on Amazon after the Sabbath. Man, just the water to the Most High, man, for his grace and his mercy, man. Yo, I love that my Israelite brothers and sisters, our community. Music is going hard lately. Brothers is going hard. Every time I turn around, I see the brother Akanal, man. I see the brothers in the music industry and the truth music industry, I should say, putting out new music. And it ain't like secular. Everything is based in the scriptures, and I love that. If you listen to it, you're going to hear the praises of the Most High going out. You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, man, David done danced out his clothes, giving all honor and glory to the Most High.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So we got to do our best. Whatever it is to try to get his attention at the end of the day, we need to do that, man. We need to be there. So the wise to the Most High for putting that spirit on brothers that continue on pushing in every way that they can this truth, man. With that, I'm going to yield. Boaz, you got it, bro.
Okay. Again, want to give all glory and honor to Yahweh by Hashem Mashiach Yahweh Shai.
I think y'all was trying to say something real quick. My bad.
Yeah, Khan. I just want to do a quick spirit check for everybody, man, on this Sabbath day, man. I just pray everybody out here doing well. I'm gonna bring out a couple of precepts, man. Let's get the Thawada Yahweh's in the chat real quick.
Khan.
Right, let's get the Thawada Yahweh's in the chat real quick. If everybody is glad for another day, grateful for another day, thankful for another day, thankful for another Shabbat day, man. Right, I'm gonna bring these couples of precepts out. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 30. In verse number 21, right? Say, give not thy mind to heaviness and afflict not thyself in thy own counsel. The gladness of the heart is the life of man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. Love thy own soul and comfort thy heart. Remove sorrow far from thee, for sorrow hath killed many, and there is no profit therein. Right? So we want to be thankful in these days, man. Thankful. But I know it's everybody going through a little something, right? Everybody getting hit from all over. Man, we want to be thankful in these last days and be glad, right? Got one more, right? This is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 8, and verse number 10, right? Then he said unto them, go your way, eat the fat, and drink the sweet, and send the portions unto them for whom nothing is prepared. For this day is holy unto our Lord, neither be ye sorry, for the joy of the Lord is your strength. Right? The joy of the Lord is our strength, man, in these last days, man. We want to find everything to be grateful for. Every win is a win, right? No matter how small it feels, right? A win is a win, man. We want to be grateful and thankful to the Most High in these last days for every win that we get. And we had another Sabbath day, man. So all praise to the Most High for that. By you.
Salakia. Khan. All praises to the Most High. I do want to say, in the Anointed House of Saints, we do send out prayers to the Sister Joan Gilchrist and her family regarding their loss. Most High willing, you know what I'm saying? He sent his angels to watch over you and all of your family during these trying times. But I do have a question starting off this lesson. The lesson I have is a vision, a plan, and a task. It is going to be a lot of reading. I will say that. So I hope y'all prepared. But I do have a question in the chat. I see that y'all are active. The first question I have is, has anyone done or have a vision board? Has anyone done or has a vision board?
I've done one in the past. I don't have one currently. I haven't done one in a long time.
Right. I'm not sure if I've ever done one.
Not sure if you ever done one. Gabrielle said, Kai. The brother Yaiquad said, no. Okay. Okay. Okay, Gabrielle is the only sister that has done it. Oh, okay. Zanaya done one. I'm sure the more answers going to pop here soon. What is the purpose of a vision board? And anybody can answer, even Adam Wyman. Y'all can answer.
Sister Larita said yes. Zanaya said
The
yes.
purpose of a vision board is when you plan, you know, visually writing stuff out so you can plan things.
Kind.
Things. I guess I have done one when it comes to putting projects out and stuff like that. So,
you know what I'm saying? So
been a while.
just sort of synopsis, just like you said, Adawan, the purpose of a vision board is to gauge your success as you accomplish your goals, right? So it's like when there's people make vision boards like this. I want this car, I want this house, and I want to start making this much type of money a year, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Set myself up for success, be my own boss, blah, 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 blah. And these are the steps that I'm going to take to get there. You know, of course, if there are Proverb Nation said it helps focus and remind of goals. That's correct. So it helps guide you on the way. So even if there's areas where it's like you might fail, you know what I'm saying, you can see where you can kind of gauge and see like where stuff has happened and things like that to be able to pick yourself back up, right? So it's to give you an idea. So you got the vision, what you seeing, where you trying to go. You got your plan and what you're trying to do. And then there's the task at hand that you got to do to accomplish it, right? Can you grab the book of Genesis chapter 37 and read from verse 1 to verse 10? Baba Kushai.
Genesis 37. Chapter 1. Salaki. The book of Genesis, chapter 37, starting in verse 1. And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren. And the lad was with the sons of Bilhah and with the sons of Ziplah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age. And he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him and could
Salakia.
not speak peaceably unto him.
Salakia. So we see in this situation, this happens to us in our families, right? Some of us might have experienced the same type of love, where it's like you have siblings, they be the older sibling, and then you got this one sibling that be the younger one, and he get treated a certain kind of way. You know what I'm saying? I could be one to say that I vouch for that. I was treated very differently because my grandma treated me a certain kind of way, and other people treated me a certain kind of way. So my siblings, they had a problem with me. They would scold me, and that was entertaining growing up, you know. But go ahead and read on.
Uh, Verse 5. And Joseph dreamed the dream, and he told it his brethren, and they hated him yet more. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For, behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheep house, Salakia, my sheep arose, and also stood aright. And behold, your sheaves stood round about, and made obeisance to my sheep.
Slovakia. Does anybody know what obeisance is? Adawan, you able to pull up the blue letter?
God, I could do it on my phone. Are you talking about on the screen?
You want to see it? Yeah. Hold on 1 second.
Okay, God.
If anybody knows what obeisance is, drop it in the chat. Khan Yaikwab, fire on the keyboard. Says bow with respect. Khan. That is correct. That is correct. Obeisance is H7812. Did you find that yet, Adawan?
Give me the what's name again? It's Genesis 37 and what?
That's Genesis 37.
9.
Yeah, you want verse 9, where obeisance is. So it's like obeisance is where one would prostrate themselves or like give homage to royalty or to the Most High. And the Most High, obeisance would be us giving him worship, right? But Joseph is seeing a vision where he's in some type of position where he's elevated and his brothers are giving him obeisance. And they didn't like that, right? Or you have verse 9 or verse 10?
Verse 10. You want me to read?
Khan, go ahead and read that.
I was still trying to pull this thing up, man. I'm kind of slow with this.
It's all right. It's all good, Adawan. I was trying to see if Knock was going to be available, but
yeah, Knock is a lot nicer than I am with this thing, man. Let me see where you at. Can you see my screen?
Khan, there it go. There it is, and then
this is it right here, verse 9, right?
Yep, verse 9. There it is, 78 and 12.
878:12.
Yeah, now when you read it, it's gonna have in what is that? translation count, the biblical usage to bow down, like Yaquab said, to depress, to bow down, to prostrate oneself before superior in homage before Yahweh in worship. And they even did this to false gods, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even in the aspect of like false gods, like them worshiping things like Baal and stuff like that, you know, they worship them, they bow down to them. But go ahead and read that in verse 10, King.
Verse number 10. And he told it to his father and to his brethren. And his father rebuked him,
right,
and said unto him, what is this dream that thou hast dreamed?
Right. So his father rebuked him. He's wondering, like, what is this dream that you having where it's like we supposed to like bow down to you or worship you, right? Because in his mind, could we say it's possible in his mind why he rebuked him is because he's giving him this vision that it could seem like he's saying, y'all gonna worship me, like worshiping the Most High. Why he would have rebuked him? Because there's really not too much going on there that's giving Jacob a visual of like, what does he mean as far as this obeisance? Because one was to worship the Most High God, another was to pay respect and homage to a person in royalty, to bow to them, right?
You gotta remember also, this is the youngest son at the time,
right?
So it's kind of hard to accept when the youngest son saying that we all, the father, the other children, we're all gonna bow down to you.
Right.
That's how the other nations look at the Israelites.
Facts.
Like we're the bottom of the world, and we're gonna have to bow down to y'all at the end of the days. No, y'all can't be. That's why they're gonna be amazed at our salvation. That our lot is those with the saints.
That's right.
Right.
Hey, yo, go ahead.
Can you jump down to verse 20?
Verse number 20. Come now, therefore, and let us slay him, and cast him into some pit. And we will say, some evil beast has devoured him. And we will see what will become of his dream.
Right. So, Salakia. So, in between the dream and this time that's coming up right now, Jacob sent Joseph to his brother that was over in Shechem, who were tending to the flock. And his brothers saw him coming, right? And they like, yo, let's kill him. Why not? That way his dream can't come to pass. This dream that he's dreaming that we supposed to bow down to him, right? Which we know that's wicked. Pursuant to Leviticus 19:18, we ain't supposed to have no hate in our hearts towards our brother, right? Read down to verse 27.
Hey, Salakia, man. Hey, Shalom, Adawan Kanal. Shalom.
Shalom, Yasharal.
Hey, shalom to the officer Kadar Aharon. Shalom to Octaves. Shalom to everybody else who just came into the chat or who's just watching behind the scenes. Shalom. Ashar Shabbat. Shalom, y'all. Go ahead, boys. Hey, let us know where we at. We in Genesis, right?
Genesis chapter 37 and verse 21.
Okay.
All right, Salaki, real quick. I just wanted to make a quick point real quick.
Go ahead.
Make this point. It's funny how like Joseph told his brothers his dream, right? And his brothers sought to do him harm, and they kind of mocked to say what they say. What was that? What was that verse again? Verse 20 say, "Come now, therefore, and let us slay him and cast him into some pit, and we will say some evil beast has devoured him, and we will see what will become of his dream." So they kind of mocked his dream, like, okay, we're gonna throw him into some pit, right? Get him up out of here, and we're gonna see what we gonna see if that dream comes true, right?
Right.
But we all know what ended up happening at the end of the day. But the point I want to bring out is a man's goings of the Lord.
That's right.
At the end of the day, the Lord kind of put that on them, on their spirit to do that, right? So this whole thing can play out. I don't know if you are you getting into that? Okay, Salaki, I'll let you go. I'll wait then. I will.
That's all good.
Listen, I was thinking about that precept and a couple more, and I said, hold up, Boaz got to hit these.
Yeah.
Let me pull back.
It's all good. Hey, but yeah, go ahead and read that in verse 21. Because it's a lot of reading. That's why I'm like,
that's cool.
We're gonna get there.
Verse number 21. And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands and said, let us not kill him.
Read on.
And Reuben said unto them, shed no blood, but cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands, to deliver him to his father again.
So Reuben, which was the wise brother, you know what I'm saying? Instead of killing him, because we know in the story of Cain and Abel what happened to Cain. Like, imagine, like, if they would have did what they did, what that could have did to them. You know what I'm saying? They could have put a mark on them. Them brothers could have been sought out for the rest of their lives. Their father could have got angry, and he wanted to hurt his own sons just because. It's like, you killed your own brother, a son that he favored, right? Khan, but read on. Salakia.
Khan, verse number 23. And it came to pass, when Joseph was coming to his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat of many colors that was on him.
Mm-hmm.
And they took him and cast him into the pit. And the pit was empty, and there was no water therein. And they sat down to eat bread, and they lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead with their camels bearing spicery and balm and myrrh, going to and carrying it down to Egypt.
Salakia. Adawan, can you grab Proverbs 16 and 9?
So this Proverbs, Salakia, go ahead.
So this is the plan that they came up with. Instead of we going to kill him, instead we going to cast him into slavery down into Egypt. What they was thinking that this is our plan to be able to make sure that his dream don't come true, but what they don't know is this is the Most High's plan. Read that in Proverbs 16 and 9, King.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 16 and verse number 9. A man divided his way, but the Lord directed his steps.
Right. So it was in their mind to devise something to be able to make sure that this dream that Joseph was having wasn't going to come to pass. But the Most High was directing those steps.
That's right.
The Most High, he allowed that to happen, right?
I got a preset if you want it.
Khan, go ahead, bring it out.
I don't know if you have this.
You on mute. I don't want to know you on mute too. I think you was about to say something.
No, I was actually reading a precept.
Oh, God.
I was looking for a precept.
God.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 13 and verse 8, it says, for we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. The fact of the matter is, the truth is the Lord's commandments, but the truth is also the word of God. If Most High God has given that truth unto Joseph, you know what I'm saying? You can't do nothing against the truth. What you're doing against Joseph or against the Most High God is actually going to push that truth to come to light.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying? Because that was his vision, or that was on his vision board from the beginning. To
right.
use your term, vision board.
Yeah. Can you jump down? So jump down. Where is you at? Did you read verse 36?
You talking about in Genesis 37, right?
Yeah, jump down to read from 32 to 36.
Come. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 37, and verse number 32. And they sent the coat of many colors, and they brought it to their father, and said, this have we found. Know now whether it be thy son's coat or no.
So they made up the plot. You know what I'm saying? After they sold him into slavery, they took his coat, they killed a kid goat, and they covered it in blood, And then they went to their father like, oh, is this his coat? Like, let us know, is this his coat that's covered in blood? Right? Read on.
Verse 33. And he knew it and said, it is my son's coat. An evil beast has devoured him. Joseph is without doubt rent in pieces. And Jacob rent his clothes and put sackcloth upon his loins and mourned for his son many days. And all his sons, Salakia.
Nah, go ahead.
And all his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. And he said, for I will go down into the grave until my son morning. Thus his father wept for him. And the Midianites sold him into Egypt unto Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's, and captain of the guard.
So now, could you imagine what it'd be like if, you know what I'm saying, your siblings, you have a younger sibling, and you have a young child. Your children come home and they bring his garment to you and it's covered in blood, and they like, is this your son's? And they make you to think and believe that a beast has killed your child.
I can't imagine that.
Could you imagine how you would feel in that type of situation? Like Joseph, obviously, he's going through it because he's like, yo, it ain't like we in the world today. You know what I'm saying? Even in the world today, in the same aspect, it's like you come home with a child's shirt or something like that. It got bullet holes in it and blood on it, and you like, you know, this is your son, this is your baby. You know, like a man or a woman would lose their mind. I actually heard a man who recently told me, matter of fact, it was my neighbor. He said his son, he raised him right. He directed him right. But his son, he wants to be wicked in the world. And he got guns in his mama's house and things like that. And his mom, she's not doing what's necessary to keep him in order and things like that. So he's like, if something were to happen to him, he can't even, like, as far as having that despair, he can't even have it because it's like he knows what he's bringing to himself. Right? You on mute, Adawan.
Hey, listen, man, a lot of our brothers and sisters have lost children, man, and anytime I hear these stories, it's devastating. Whether it be by the police, whether it be a freak accident, health issues, whatever it is, man. Any parent would hate to think that they would outlive their children.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's a hard thing, man. We got brothers, close brothers to us, you know what I'm saying, who's lost children, man. That's a hard thing. So whether it be a bear attack, whether it be bullet holes, whether it be, you know what I'm saying, whatever it be, the loss of a child is devastating.
You gonna say something, Adawan?
Yeah, I didn't lose my son, but the other day, you know, my son plays basketball. The other day, two kids on the court had got into a fight, and when you see people jumping out the stands and they grabbing my son, I was like, not my son. I ran out there, so I can understand like the feeling. I can't fathom losing my son, but to lose your son and you don't really know what happened to him.
Right.
That's crazy. Beast must have, you know, that's unfathomable to me. Yeah.
No closure part.
Mm-hmm.
Can you grab the book of Genesis chapter 39? Because I'm planning on continuing into this story, right? Because it said it ended off, he was sold, the Midianites sold him into Egypt unto Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, right? So we got to jump over to 39 to continue that. Because chapter 38 is talking about Judah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so go ahead. Yeah, read that. Read that from 1 to verse 4, Baba Kasha.
That's the book of Genesis, chapter 39, starting from the top. And Joseph was brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, and an Egyptian brought him of his hands of the hands of the Ishmaelites, which had brought him down thither.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord was with Joseph, and he was a prosperous man. And he was in the house of his master the Egyptian. And his master saw that the Lord was with him,
Mm-hmm.
and that the Lord made all that he did to prosper in his hand.
Salakia. Somebody grab Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 5. So even though Joseph was going through what he went through, you know what I'm saying? As far as where his sight was directed at, it was directed towards the Lord. Like regardless of whatever he had going on with him, he stayed on the correct path with keeping the Most High first, right? And that's what we should be doing. Somebody read that in Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 5. Baba Kashab.
So like I thought somebody was going to do that. Girl.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 5. It says, trust in the Lord with all thine heart,
Mm-hmm.
and lean not into thine own understanding.
Right. And read verse 6. Baba Kashab.
In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths.
Right. So even in the ways where Joseph was sold into slavery, he's under this master in the house of Pharaoh. You know what I'm saying? He's under an officer in Pharaoh's house, right? He's still doing what? Read that again, verse 6.
In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths.
He's acknowledging the Most High in all his ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where we're supposed to be at in ourselves. We're supposed to be acknowledging the Most High in all our ways, regardless if it's good or bad. It can't be when things is good, we gonna acknowledge the Most High and be like, oh, Thawada Yahweh for this good thing, Thawada Yahweh for this promotion, Thawada Yahweh for, you know what I'm saying, getting rid of this person who got on my nerves, blah, 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 right? We should be acknowledging the Most High even when we're in trying times, right?
For sure. Even in the more. Acknowledge him equally all the time, man.
That's right. That's fact.
The most High actually gives you the strength to get through those hard times.
That's right.
You should be thanking him for the strength to get you through it, even while you're going through it.
That's what it talks about in let me slack you. Let me grab this real quick. In the book of James chapter 1, it says, James chapter 1 and verse 2, it says, my brother, count it all joy when ye fall into diverse temptations. He said, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations. So things that you not going to be like, that you going, why am I going through this? Why? You know what I'm saying? You gotta count it all joy. You gotta look to the Most High and be like, whatever it is that you putting me through this thing for some type of reason. Right? Was you about to say something, that one?
Me?
Yeah, you look like you was about to say something.
I was looking for a precept, but I ain't have it.
Okay. I don't want y'all to stop. Can you read that verse 4?
39 and 4. Genesis 39 and 4. And Joseph found grace in his sight, and he served him, and he made him overseer over his house, and all that he had he put in his hand.
Right. So even his master, he's seen that the Most High was with Joseph, right? And he's seen that in everything that Joseph did. So he did what? He made him overseer over his house. So in that moment, Joseph got elevated, right? He didn't get elevated like a whole lot, but he got elevated to a point to where it's like he pretty much had respect with that man. That man has some type of respect for him, right? Jump down to verse 7, and you're going to read this all the way to verse 23.
Salakia, before you read that, a lot of heathens take on the children of Israel because they know having us close to them will have them prosper.
Right.
Like you'll have a lot of I used to live in New York. You got a lot of Jewish people who at the time would hire a lot of Haitian people because they knew that they would work diligently because, as an Israelite, you're supposed to give it your all in anything, regardless. And they know that. So they bring us on to help themselves prosper. If you see the assistant cook with a chef and that restaurant is prospering, it's because of that assistant cook. When you see these people who Ford or any of these people who so-called built something, it's because of the slave that was with them that they're able to prosper like that.
Right.
Hey, Shalaka, to the point that you made about him being lifted up and being put over Pharaoh's house. We have, like I had mentioned this earlier, sometimes we need to be broken down.
Right.
Sometimes we need to be brought low. You know what I'm saying? But we can't forget this. The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 2 and verse 7. The Lord maketh poor and maketh rich. He bringeth low and lifteth up. He raises up the poor out of the dust and lifteth up the beggar from the dunghill to set them among princes, and to make them inherit the throne of glory. For the pillar of the earth are the Lord's, and he has set the world upon them. So the Most High has the ability to lift you up out of any situation that you in into a higher estate. You know what I'm saying? For him to go through betrayal from his own brothers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Getting put into captivity. Matter of fact, I want to ask brothers, who sold Joseph into slavery? I don't want to take too much time into it, but that's just a question I'm going to throw out there. Who sold Joseph into slavery? Was that his brothers who did that? You get the point, though. I don't want to carry too much time on that question, but I want to put the question out for the people in the chat. Who sold Joseph into slavery? But continue on, though. You get the not his brothers. His brothers did not sell him into slavery. Do y'all know the answer? I don't want to take too much time into this. Let's go back to where we was at in Genesis.
Genesis 39:4. Which one? 37?
Just 39. Yeah, 39:7, and you just gonna read it straight through.
Okay, the book of Genesis chapter 39 and verse 7. And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph, and she said, lie with me. But he refused, and said unto his master's wife, behold, my master what is with me in the house, Salaki, and he has committed all that he hath to my hand.
Mm-hmm.
There is none greater in this house than I. Neither hath he kept back anything from me but thee, because thou art his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God?
Salakia. So we've seen this today, right? We've seen this with our ancestors, right? They be enslaved, and then what happened? That Shedemite woman come along, she figured the best part of waking up was some brew in her cup.
Wow.
I mean, that's like the best PG way I could have said it at a while.
I get it. I get the point.
And that's what she was getting at. She's like, yo, she's seen him, and she was probably looking at him like, brother's looking attractive. He's doing things. He's working with his hands. He's doing stuff. He's being productive for his master. And she see that. Women see stuff like that, and they like that. You know what I'm saying? Rather come into your house and start working on your sink pipes and your toilet and stuff like that, wherever you got leaks, and it's like you like that because a man know how to do things and work with his hands, right? But read on.
I was just
go ahead, Adawan.
No, I was just posting the answer. The answer is the Midianites. Sold Joseph into slavery. They actually sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know who the Midianites are, They also are the seed of Moses. And they also are the family that Moses, I'm not slacking, the seed of Abraham, and they also are the family that Moses married,
Right.
Midianites.
Right.
I can go on that. Keep going though, bro.
Go ahead, read on.
We on verse 10.
Kind.
And it came to pass that she spake unto Joseph day by day, that he hearkened not unto her to lie by her, or to be with her. And it came to pass about this time that Joseph went into the house to do his business, and there was none of the men of the house there within. And she caught him by his garment, saying, Lie with me. And he left his garment in her hand and fled, and got not and got him out. And it came to pass, and she saw that she had left his garment, and he had left his garment in her hand, and fled forth. Then she called unto the men of her house, and spake unto them, saying, See, he hath brought in Hebrew unto us to mock us. He came in unto me to lie with me, and I cried with a loud voice. And it came to pass, when he heard that I lifted up my voice and cried, and he left his garment with me, and fled, and got him out. And she laid up his garment by her until his Lord came home. And she spake unto him according to these words, saying, The Hebrew servant which thou hast brought unto us came in unto me to mock me. And it came to pass,
Slakia. So the same story that she told, that we could see she told her servants, right, is the same story that she told Potiphar, right? It's the same story, which we can see. Go ahead, read on, Salakia.
Hey, Salakia, for like for those who don't know, this is one of the many ways for you to show that we had the understanding of the commandments before Exodus. Just want to throw that in there.
Kind, it's a fact, because he pointed out that he would be sinning against not just his master, you know what I'm saying, but he would be sinning against the Most High God because he would be sleeping with another man's wife.
Let me see. Where you want me to pick up a verse? Verse 15.
Verse 17.
Nope. Verse 17. And she spake unto him according to these words, saying, The Hebrew servant which thou hast brought unto us came in unto me to mock me. And it came to pass, as I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me and fled out. And it came to pass, when his master heard the words of his wife, which she spake unto him, saying, After this manner did thy servant to me, that his wrath was kindled.
Yeah, why they keep using his garments, man? The most multicolored garment, they couldn't wait to use that to say that he was dead. Now she using his garment, that, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, there's something about garments, man, you know what I'm saying? But all in all, no matter what, like, as we can see, even Joseph has to go through trials, same thing. We have to go through trials too. You know what I'm saying? We got to go through trials to be accepted of the Most High, right? Somebody grab Sirach 2 and 5. Somebody grab Sirach 19 and 18. And somebody grab Sirach 11 and verse 15.
I got 19.
Sirach 11 and what?
11 and 15. Somebody grab Sirach 2 and 5. Give me that first. You can grab that. I don't want to come off. Abu Kashah. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just like Joseph is going through his trials, we got to go through trials as well. There's a reason for everything. The Most High got these things set up because there's a reason for everything, right? Even when you're going through the bad things, there's a reason for that. Read that in Sirach 2 and 5, Abu Kashah. When you get there.
Muted.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 2 and verse 5. For the fire gold is tested, and the chosen in a crucible of humiliation.
Kind. That was Sirach 2 and 5.
Yeah, I'm looking like what? Read that
Sirach,
again.
Sirach chapter 2, verse 5.
Yeah, read it again.
Okay.
Or 2 and 5.
2 and 5.
2 and 5. Chapter 2, verse 5.
Kind.
Okay. For in fire gold is tested.
Ah. Okay.
What is he reading? The NLV or something? What are you reading?
Oh, Slovakia. Yeah, I am. I'm on my phone.
It's still saying the same thing though. You can read that. That's fine.
Yeah.
No, let me not read that.
I'm picking it up now.
All right, Salakia. For gold is tried in the fire,
Right.
and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
Kind. It says acceptable men in the furnace of diversity. So you got to go through these things to be accepted, right? Read that in Sirach 19 and 18, Baba Kashab.
The book of Sirach, chapter 19 and verse 18. The fear of the Lord is the first step to be accepted.
Right?
And wisdom obtaineth his love.
Exactly, right? So the fear of the Lord is the first thing to be accepted. To go through these trials that the Most High puts on us is a way to be accepted of the Most High, right? Go ahead and read that Sirach 11 and 15.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 11 and verse 15. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the law are of the Lord. Love and the way of good works are from him.
Right? So even though we get that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding are of the law, right? And Joseph, he had wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That's the reason why, regardless of whatever he was going through, he trusted in the Lord. However, his path was being directed by the Most High, he trusted in the Lord. Because think about this one. When Joseph's master found out, right, the captain in Pharaoh's guards, right? When he found out, he could have killed Joseph.
Right.
He could have put him to death.
Right.
And you know, that's the spirit of the Most High that preserved Joseph. But I think in the back of my mind, he knew that his wife was off. Because in order for him to elevate Joseph to the position that he was in, he kind of got to know the type of person he is.
Kind.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
and so
right.
he didn't like a brother know, but he got to do certain things because his wife complaining. So he sent him to prison. Because he could have killed him, like you said. He could have just cut his head off and nobody would have said nothing. He was a lowly slave.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I yield on that.
Nah, it's good at a wine. Where'd you stop at, Yawasop?
39 and
19.
Yes.
Kind.
Yeah. I'm in verse 20.
Yeah, go ahead and finish that out, Baba Kashai.
Fine. Verse Genesis 39.
Slide it in. If Adawan Canal is up for reading, can you grab Genesis 40? Or you probably already there. It's going to be at the beginning, but just hold that. Go ahead.
40 and 1?
Yep.
This is the book of Genesis chapter 39 and verse number 20. And Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison, a place where the king's prisoners were bound.
Mm-hmm.
And he was there in the prison. And the Lord was with Joseph and showed him mercy and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. And the keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners that were in prison. And whatsoever they hid there, whatsoever they did there, he was a doer of it. The keeper of the prison looked not to anything that was under his hand, because the Lord was with him. And that which he did, the Lord made it to prosper.
So even when Joseph was sent into prison, same thing that happened when he was when he was house of the chief
Potiphar.
Potiphar, right? I keep wanting to say chief executioner because that's who he was. You know what I'm saying? But even in that situation, you know what I'm saying, he made him prosper. So just as he prospered and he became an overseer in the house of his master, he even prospered in the prison.
Mm-hmm.
And the prison guard, you know what I'm saying, was like, he seen that the Lord was with him. This is another situation. He seen that the Lord was with him, and he like, you know, he going even in the prison, it's like you're elevated here.
Yeah.
Even while you in prison, you elevated here. And some brothers, they have that happens to them. You know what I'm saying? When you get locked up, you know what I'm saying, you operate in a certain kind of way where it's like you get favor from guards and things like that. You know what I'm saying? They look at you to be in a certain position, to hold certain things down, to keep everything to keep things in order in jail, even though, you know, things is going to get crazy and you can't keep control of everything, right? But it's like certain things they allow them to do what they can to keep things in order because people will adhere to them or listen to them, right?
Yep.
Yeah. You got something you want to say? I don't want to know. You on mute?
I was waiting for you.
Oh, Khan. Yeah, can you grab that in Genesis chapter 40?
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 40 and verse 1. And it came to pass after these things that the butler of the king of Egypt and his baker had offended their lord, the king of Egypt. Verse 2. And Pharaoh, do you want me to stop?
Now keep going. Read the verse 3.
And Pharaoh was wroth against two of his officers, against the chief of the butlers and against the chief of the bakers.
Right.
And he put them in ward in the house of the captain of the guard into the prison and place where Joseph was bound.
So the chief baker and the chief butler, something transpired where the Pharaoh felt offended. So he sent them into prison where Joseph was at. Jump down to verse 5. And you're going to read that to verse 19.
Verse 5. And they dreamed a dream, both of them, each man his dream in one night, each man according to the interpretation of his dream, the butler and the baker of the king of Egypt, which were bound in the prison. And Joseph came in unto them in the morning and looked upon them, and behold, they were sad. Verse 7. And he asked Pharaoh's officers that were with him in the ward of his Lord's house, saying, wherefore look ye so sadly to today?
Salakia. So he looking at them like, yo, why y'all looking so sad? Right? Read on.
And they said unto him, we have dreamed a dream, and there is no interpreter of it. And Joseph said unto them, do not interpretations belong to God? Tell me of them, I pray you.
All right.
Verse 9. And the chief butler told his dream to Joseph and said to him, in my dream, behold, a vine was before me, and in the vine were 3 branches. And it was thought it budded, and
it was as though.
What? And it was as though it budded, and her blossoms shot forth, and the clusters thereof brought forth ripe grapes. Verse 11. Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup. I gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. And Joseph said unto him, this is an interpretation of it. The 3 branches are 3 days, yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thy head and restore thee unto thy place. And thou shalt deliver Pharaoh's cup into his hand, after the former manner when thou wast his butler. Verse 14. But think on me when it shall be well with thee, and shew kindness, and pray thee unto me, and make mention of me unto Pharaoh, and bring me out of this house. For indeed I was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews. And here also I have done nothing that they should put me into the dungeon. Verse 16. And the chief,
So hold on right there. So even though Joseph was in prison, right? He's like, yo, I'm gonna interpret this dream for you. And when you go to the Pharaoh and he gets you out of the position that you in, yo, let him know about me so I can get up out of here. Because he's saying, like, I was put in here for no reason. Like, there's no reason for him being there. There was no reason for him to have been cast into slavery into Egypt. There was no reason for him that there was no reason for him being in prison, because he never slept with his master's wife, right? But he was in the position that he was in. And why was he in that position? Because the Most High was doing what he needed to do to refine Joseph, for real. Somebody grab me 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 13. And somebody grab 1 Peter 4 and 12. Baba Kushai.
Which one you going for, y'all side?
I'm going for 1 Corinthians.
All right, I get 1 Peter 4 and 12.
Right.
Because you got 1 Corinthians what?
10 and 13.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 10, verse number 13. There has no temptation taking you, but such as common to man. But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able. But we're with the temptation, Salaki.
No, you good. But we're with what?
But we're with the temptation. Also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it.
Okay. So the Most High made Joseph be able to bear what he was going through. Though he was put into slavery, you know what I'm saying? The Most High came through with him on that, even though he was in the house of Pharaoh's guard, right? He made him an overseer in it. Though the Pharaoh's guard's wife cast a lie on him to get him put in jail. Okay, now he's bringing him down, just like Adawan said in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes he got to be broken down. He's bringing him down even more, right? He cast him into jail. Like, you in prison, it probably stank in there. You stink. You can't clean yourself. You can't clean yourself up. You eating whatever kind of food, swatting off whatever bugs that's coming, because you don't have anything covering for you as far as like restroom wise. If you ever been in the prison before, you know what it's like. You using the bathroom and you around everybody else using that bathroom, and that toilet is nasty. It's disgusting. I never knew about the newspaper toilet seat until I went to jail. That thing is real. And brothers got skills to even fold it, put it together, and make a seat out of it to where it sits on top of the toilet. Because other than that, what's coming out the toilet seat? Does anybody know? I know somebody knows. What comes out of the toilet seat?
You said what comes out the toilet seat?
Yeah.
disease.
Yeah. That, gnats, bugs. And it stank. You got somebody in the same cell as you, you know what I'm saying? They got to use the bathroom. They let it go. They blow up the spot. You in this small confined room, right? 8 by 12. And you over here like, the most you can do is roll over and face the wall to smell the concrete. So whatever position that Joseph is in and what he going through, he dealing with it. And he got to deal with the same thing with other people that's coming in and out of there, even with himself. So he's in a low position, right? But even though he's in that low position, the Most High, he still got him. Read that in First Peter, Baba Kashah.
The book of 1 Peter, chapter 4, and verse 12. Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you,
right?
As though some strange thing happened to you,
right?
But rejoice And as much as ye are partakers of Christ's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy.
Right. So even though, don't be surprised when you're going through this, what you're going through, right? Don't be surprised at all. Because when the time comes where things is going to turn around on the other side and you get to see the goodness of what you had to go through and bear, you know, you're gonna be happy with exceeding gladness. It's like with exceeding gladness, you know what I'm saying? Giving all glory and honor to the Most High and his son Yahushua. Right?
Hey, let me read verse 14 real quick.
Kind.
It says, if ye be reproached for the name of Christ, it's not just about the name of Christ, it's about the law, statutes, and commandments, righteousness. Like if you be assaulted, if you come getting fiery darts thrown at you for trying to be righteous. You know what I'm saying? Happy are ye, for the spirit of glory and of God rests upon you. On their part, he is evil spoken of, but on your part, he is glorified. So those people who's throwing those darts are also throwing evil innuendos or evil suggestions at you to the Most High God, man. You know what I'm saying? But on your part, the Most High God is glorified if you can endure these darts that's coming your way. Are you?
Kind. But it's like, I don't want. Can you go back to that Genesis 40 and read from 20 to 20? Read from 20 all the way down to the end. So as we see, Joseph interpreted the butler's dream. He also interpreted the baker's dream, right? And we're gonna see here what came to with both of those dreams.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 40 and verse 20. And it came to pass the third day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast unto all his servants. And he lifted up the head of the chief butler and of the chief baker amongst his servants. And he restored the chief butler unto his butlership again. And he gave the cup unto Pharaoh's hand. But he hanged the chief baker as Joseph had interpreted to them.
Right.
Yet did not the chief butler remember Joseph, but forgot him.
Right. So exactly what Joseph told him, what he interpreted, what was going to happen in his dream, that's what happened to the butler. And then what happened with the baker, you know what I'm saying? He told him that he was going to get hanged. So that's exactly what happened. Right.
Hey, this is another example of how there's always a death or something bad happen on the birthday in the scriptures. Just to throw that out there.
Right. Somebody grab Genesis chapter 41, and you're gonna read verse 1 through 8.
Hey, shalom, sis Romanica Wade. Shalom.
The book of Genesis, chapter 41 and verse 1. And it came to pass at the end of 2 full years that Pharaoh dreamed, and behold, he stood by the river. And behold, there came up out of the river 7 well-favored kine and fat-fleshed, and they fed in the meadow. Salakia. And behold, 7 other kine came up after them out of the river, ill-favored and lean-fleshed, and stood by the other kine and upon the brink of the river. Verse 4. And the ill-favored and the lean-fleshed kine did eat up the 7 well-favored and fat kine. So the Pharaoh awoke, and he slept and dreamed the second time, and behold, 7 ears of corn came up upon the stalk, rank and good. Verse 6, and behold, 7 thin ears and blasted with the east winds sprung up after them. And the 7 thin ear devoured the 7 ranked and full ears. The Pharaoh awoke, and behold, it was a dream. And it came to pass in the morning that his spirit was troubled, and he sent and called for all magicians of Egypt and all the wise men thereof. And Pharaoh told him his dream, but there was none that could interpret them unto Pharaoh.
Salakia. So this is a key thing that I want people to look at. Pharaoh had his dream how many times? How many times did Pharaoh have his dream? Have this same dream? Somebody drop that in the trap. Real quick, Baba Kashai. See how fast you're over with the thumbs. Quick on the thumbs. Quick on the thumbs.
Y'all up? Y'all up? How many times did Pharaoh have his dream, y'all?
It's coming in. It's coming in. Then
Okay.
Now the second question is, how many times did Joseph have his dream?
And that's why we ask these little questions, man.
Come on, there we go.
There we go.
I knew they was coming. Hey, thumbs was moving. It's just we got a lag. Hold on, Yaquab said 1. How many times did Joseph have his dream? Or how many times did Joseph have that same dream? So Monica said twice. Yaquab said twice. Be like ants. And Yaquab said once. I think they talking about as far as how many times Joseph had his dream. I say he had his dream. He had that dream twice. Because the first time he had the dream, he told his brothers the dream, and he was telling them, you know what I'm saying, his sheaves rose up above them, and their sheaves bowed to him, kind of thing. And they gave him obeisance. And then he repeated the dream. He had the dream again, and it was about, it said was it the sun and the stars?
Yeah, I think that was a second dream.
He said, and the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, because it said, and he dreamed yet another dream, right? So that would have been the second time, which, you know, the sun in that aspect would have been Jacob, his father, and then the moon would have been his mother. And of course, the 11 stars is his brothers, right? So just wanted to put that out there. All right, so go ahead and read on, Adawan. Read from 9 to 24, and then if you want to take a break, Yawasop can read 24 to 45.
Hey, call it before you read it.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 41 and verse 9. Then spake the chief butler unto Pharaoh, saying, I do remember my faults this day. Pharaoh was wroth with his servants, and put me in ward in the captain of the guard's house, both me and the chief baker. And we dreamed a dream in one night. And I and he, we dreamed each man according to the interpretation of his dream. And there was there with us a young man, an Hebrew servant of the captain of the guard. And we told him, and he interpreted to us our dream. To each man according to his dream, he did interpret. And it came to pass, as he interpreted to us, so it was, me he restored unto mine office, and him he hanged.
Salakia. So we can see that the interpretation of the dream, what happened with the chief butler and the chief baker, you know, that Joseph, he interpreted for them, it came to pass, right? But he told the chief butler, you know what I'm saying, to let the Pharaoh know so he can get up out of there. But as we read in the scripture, he forgot him at that moment, which, you know, I ain't gonna put it on the chief butler like, you know, he was doing wrong, because if you think about it, in his mind, in that moment, he was restored to his position, and then at the same time, the chief baker was killed. So he had to witness that. So him thinking about, oh, let me tell Pharaoh this, that, and the third right now, yeah, that left his mind, right? Because he was probably in amazement, like, that thing that was told to me came true. And this man actually died. And he probably, who knows? Speaking as a man, he could have thought to himself, man, if I go and say something right now, you know what I'm saying, the Pharaoh might not be displeased with me. You know what I'm saying? I might get killed like the chief baker. Who knows? But the scripture says he forgot him, so you know it probably left his mind at that time. But read on that one.
Verse 14, Genesis chapter 41, verse 14. Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they brought him hastily out of the dungeon. And he shaved himself and changed his raiment and came in unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and there is none that can interpret it. And I have heard say of thee that thou canst understand a dream to interpret it. And Joseph answered, saying, it is not in me. God shall give Pharaoh an answer of peace.
Right.
And Pharaoh said unto
go ahead.
And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, in my dream, behold, I stood upon a bank of the river. And behold, there came up out of the river 7 kine, fat-fleshed and well-favored, and they fed in the meadow. And behold, 7 other kine came after them, poor and very ill-favored and lean-fleshed, such as I never saw in all the land of Egypt for badness. Continue.
Kine.
Verse 20. And the lean and the ill-favored kind did eat up the first 7 fat kine. And when they had eaten them up, it could not be known that they had eaten them, but they were still ill-favored as at the beginning. So I awoke. Verse 22. And I saw in my dream, and behold, 7 ears came out up in one stalk, full and good. And behold, 7 ears withered, thin, and blasted with the east wind, sprung up after them. And the thin ear devoured the 7 good ears. And I told this unto the magicians, but there was none that could declare it to me.
Kine. So none of the magicians and the wise men that Pharaoh sent for, you know, nobody could declare or interpret the dream that he had going on. So the Pharaoh was worried because not only did he had a dream once, he had it twice, right? He had the dream 2 times, and he's trying to figure out why necessarily is he having this dream. If you can go ahead and read that from 25. Adonai Yah, what's up, Baba Kashah?
Khan, all praise to the Most High. Yeah, I can definitely do that. I want to bring out a point, right? Because Pharaoh went to his magicians and things like that, and they couldn't interpret these dreams. Why is that? Why could they not interpret these dreams? Right. Let's get the book of Deuteronomy chapter 30, 19. You was going to
lie.
Deuteronomy 30 and 19. Let me get Amos 3 and 7.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 19. It says, I call heaven and earth to record this day against
29 and 29. I mean, Deuteronomy 29, 29. That's what I want.
This is the book of Genesis chapter 29 and verse 29. The secret things belong unto the Lord our God, but those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever.
Right.
That we
Go ahead.
That we may do all the words of this law.
Right. All praise to the Most High, right? Because this dream is coming from the Most High, right? It's not just a regular dream when you go to dream and you dream about you being a superstar, right? It's not one of those type of dreams, right? It's one of those dreams that the Most High is sending for a message, right, to be interpreted, right? And it say what the secret things belong to the Most High, right? Read that again from that part.
But those things, Slakia, the secret things belong unto the Lord our God. Right. But those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever.
Right. So these is one of those things that's revealed to us along with the law, statutes, and commandments. That's why it tells us, right? I think that's 30 and 21. Let me see. Let me make sure. Throughout 30 and 21. I think it's not 30 and 21. No, Salaki, it's 3. in verse 21. Right? It says, seek not out the things that are too hard for thee, neither search the things which are above thy strength, but what is commanded thee, think thereupon with reverence, what is not needful for thee, Salakia, for to see with thine eye the things that are in secret. Right? Be curious, Salakia, be not curious in unnecessary matters, for more things are showed to thee than men understand. Right? So Joseph could have been there like, man, like, why am I going through this? Right? He could have been questioning the Most High. Right? He could have been, why is the Lord taking me through this thing? Right? He could have been questioning the Lord, like, man, I don't deserve this. I'm keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Right? I'm doing everything the Most High told me to do. Why am I going through this thing? Right? But what he did was he kept the law, statutes, and commandments. Every time he was changed to a lower state, he cleaved unto the Lord. Right? Every time he was put in a position to sin against the Most High, what he do? He followed. He kept the law, statutes, and commandments. Right? Let's get that book. Let's get that at Amos 3 and verse 7 real quick.
Book of Amos, chapter 3 and verse 7. Surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets.
Right. So the Lord said he gonna reveal his secrets, right? The things that are meant for you to be shown. If he's sitting in a vision, only Israel gonna be able to interpret that thing. Right? It says, surely the Lord, what? Read that again, Baba Kashah.
Surely the Lord will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets.
Right. So he says, surely the Lord will do nothing but reveal the secrets to the prophets. Right? The Most High sending a dream, right? He gonna send it to a person that's keeping the law. He's gonna make the person that's keeping the law, statutes, commandments able to interpret that thing they're in. Right? So instead of Joseph questioning the Most High, right, when he was going through the things that he was going through, right, he kept keeping the law, statutes, commandments, and when it was his time, right, to be able to perform, right, the Most High revealed that thing unto him, and he was ultimately going to be able to come about the condition that he's in. And that's the same thing that I'm go ahead. I'm gonna keep going. Salaki. Go ahead.
Yo, I got a precept for what you just brought out.
Because I was thinking that he might get into this because eventually Joseph's gonna come up out of this thing. But go ahead, Adawan.
Yes.
Real quick, just a precept for what you just brought out. I like this precept, the book of Psalms, chapter 131. It's only three verses. It says, Lord, my heart is not haughty, nor my eyes lofty. Neither do I exercise myself in great matters or in things too high for me. Surely I have behaved and quieted myself as a child that is weaned of his mother. My soul is even as a weaned child. Let Israel hope in the Lord from henceforth and forever. So, man, yeah, man, you don't exalt yourself, you humble yourself, and at the same point in time, man, you base everything, your righteousness, off the laws of the Most High God. Okay. You know what I'm saying? You move forward in growth, off of the milk, which is the basics. You know what I'm saying? And you'll be lifted, and the hope is for all Israel to have their hope in the Lord. Man. I yield with that.
God. I yield, but I ain't gonna take over your lesson, man.
Oh no, you all right. Go. You good at one.
Hey, Salakia, y'all. I gotta handle some stuff. If y'all don't know, we out here in San Francisco. Well, I'm out here in San Francisco, about to get myself together, get up with the rest of the brothers out here. So pray for us, man, and we pray that the Most High Spirit will move throughout all of us, for all of us.
That's right.
Hey, man, with that, man, hey, man, keep doing your thing, Boaz. Y'all, what's up? No, man. Shalom, y'all.
Shalom. Y'all be safe out there.
Praise to the Most High. Shalom.
Hey, Salakia, Boaz.
Kind of one.
Your brother should be in the he's not in the back.
I'm not seeing him just yet. Okay. As soon as I see him, I'm gonna bring him up out of one because I sent him the link also.
Okay,
kind.
First, what
So Genesis 41 and verse 25. So we going to see here where Joseph is going to interpret the dream for Pharaoh, right?
Let me see. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 30. I mean, it's like 41 and 20. You said 25, right? And
Yep.
Joseph said unto Pharaoh, the dream of Pharaoh is one. God has showed Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good kine are 7 years, and the 7 good ears are 7 years. The dream is one.
Mm-hmm.
And the 7 thin and ill-favored kine that came up after them are 7 years. And the 7 empty ears blasted with the east wind came, Salakia, shall be 7 years of famine.
Right.
This is the thing which I have spoken unto Pharaoh. What God is about to do, he showeth unto Pharaoh. Behold, there come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt. And there shall arise after them 7 years of famine, and all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine shall consume the land. And the plenty shall not be known in the land by reason of the famine following, for it shall be very grievous. And for that the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice. It is because the thing is established by God, and God will shortly bring it to pass. Now therefore let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise, and shall set Salakia and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the 5th part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years,
Mm-hmm.
and let them gather all the food of those good years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let him keep food in the cities, and that food shall be for store, and to the land against the 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land perish not through the famine. And the thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of all his servants. And Pharaoh said unto his servants, can we find such a one as this, a man in whom the Spirit of God is? And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, for as much as God has showed thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art.
Shalakia.
Thou shalt go ahead, King.
Shalakia. Shalom, King. Shalom.
Shalom, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shabbat.
Yahweh Shem Shabbat. Shalom, King.
For making yourself available, King. So as we can see here, you know what I'm saying? Joseph, he interpreted Pharaoh's dream. Not only did he interpret the Pharaoh's dream, he interpreted the Pharaoh's dream, and he also gave a plan to be able to overcome the famine that was going to come upon the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh's heard what he said, and he like, yo, wait a minute. There ain't a person that he know who as discreet or as wise as you are. Like his plan, the plan that he made, it was so on point. The Pharaoh, like, you know, he's baffled, he's blown away, right? Continue reading that one, Baba Kasha, and the brother Yaiquab, Soldier James. Can you grab Genesis 42 and hold that?
Let me see, verse 40. Thou shalt be over my house, and according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled. Only in the throne will I be greater than thou.
Mm-hmm.
And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, see, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand and put away Salaki and put upon Joseph's hand and arrayed him in vestures of fine linen and put a gold chain about his neck, and made him to ride in the second chariot which he had. And they cried before him, bowed the knee, and he made him ruler over all the land of Egypt.
Right.
And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without thee shall no man lift up his hand or foot in all the land of Egypt. Hey, Salaki, I just want to make a quick point, right?
Hey, go ahead, Adonai.
Like, when Joseph came in, right? He came in as a slave, right? His brothers, he got sold into slavery by the Midianites, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, he got betrayed by his brother, sold into slavery by the Midianites, right?
Right.
Then the Most High found favor upon him, right? And he was made second in command of a man's house.
Right.
Right? He ruled the whole house, right? The man, he said himself, the man withheld nothing from his hand minus his wife, right? So he ruled that man's house. The Most High took him down from that thing, right? A lot of people, right? A lot of us would have been murmuring at the Most High, right? In that moment, right? But the Most High brought him back down, right? Most High brought that brother back down, right? And then threw him into prison. And now he made a situation for him to become second in command over a whole country. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why it's so important for us to let me get this precept. I know you brought out a precept similar to it earlier.
The trust
right, let me
Lord.
get Sirach 2.
Right, Khan. Go ahead, Salakia.
Khan, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 2, right? In verse, I'm gonna start at verse number 1, right? It say, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. So Joseph had got the opportunity to commit adultery, right? Betray his master, all kinds of things, right? Right? But he say, set thine heart aright and constantly endure and make not haste in the time of trouble. Right? Joseph could have, he could have been on some, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and take this opportunity because I'm gonna get in trouble anyway if I don't. Right? Because you see, he still got in trouble, right? But what did it say? Sirach 4:28, that's Sirach 4:22. Let me see. Strive for the truth unto death. Sirach 4:28. Khan, that's what that is. That's what that's what Joseph did, right? He cleaved unto the Lord in this time of trouble, right? He strove for the truth unto death. I'd rather die than to sin against the Most High.
Right.
Right. I'd rather get cast into prison than to sin against the Most High. Right. And ultimately, what's happening, right? He's getting raised back up. Right. And we can apply this to our lives on an everyday basis. Right. Most High take you up out of a thing, right? That might be the best opportunity you've ever had in your life. Right? He take you out and cast you back down. What you gonna do? Murmur against the Lord? Right? Or you gonna cleave unto the Lord in these last days or during that time, right? It say verse 3, cleave unto him, the pray that thou may be increased at thy last end.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So Joseph was increased in his last end. And this ain't even the final increase. Like, this ain't even the final blessing. You get what I'm saying? But he's going through these steps. The Lord is giving him something, taking it away. Giving him more when he bring him back up. You get what I'm saying? And that's what we got to do. We got to always remember, right, to cleave unto the Most High in these times of need, in these times of trouble, right? In verse 4, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. And that's ultimately what Joseph is doing, right? He's being patient, right? He's not questioning the Most High's decisions, right? He's having faith that the Most High is going to put him in a better position, right? At the end, when it's all said and done. I'm a yield though, man. I can keep going. All praise to the Most High.
You got the track.
On the real, man.
Can you
so look, what we at?
It's a little echo, Salakia. So just to add on to that point, you know what I'm saying, like Adawan Aharon, he brought out verse 13 in 1 Peter 4, and I'm gonna read it again. It says, "But rejoice inasmuch as ye are partakers of Christ's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy." Right here, we're seeing that there's something that's being revealed to Joseph. The position that he first came into as an overseer, he was like, mid status, you know what I'm saying? But overseer of a whole house. Like Adawan was just bringing out, you know what I'm saying? The only thing that he couldn't mess with was the man's wife. Then when he got put in the jail, he's overseer of the jail when he's in there. He's overseer of the inmates that are in there, right? Both times the Most High is with him. Pharaoh has a dream. His wise men, his magicians can't interpret it because those understandings weren't given to them. They was given to us. They was given to they come from the Most High, and the Most High gave it to us to be able to do, as the Adawan was bringing out, right? And with that, Pharaoh sent for him, and he interpreted the dream. And not on top of that, he interpreted the dream for him, but he added to it as well and said, "This is how you're going to overcome the famine in this land. This is how we going to be able to the people going to be able to survive this. That way, they don't, the people don't die." And the Pharaoh like that. It's like, that's cold. It's like when you have a position in the job, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you got the right type of people you around in the job, right? And you give your input about something, and they like, "Man, you know what? That would make things more sufficient, and as far as cost effective and things like that, that helps us out. Yo, we gonna elevate you. You've been working at this job for 5 years, 10 years, something like that, right?" And it's crazy because in the beginning we read how old Joseph was. I don't know if anybody remembers, but I'll just throw it out there. Joseph was only 17 years old. But then here we gonna find out how old Joseph is right here. Go ahead and continue reading that one.
Khan. Lucky. Well, where I leave off at 41 and what?
It was 41 and
44.
Yep.
Khan.
Yep.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 41 and verse 44. "And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without thee shall no man lift up his hand or foot in all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zaphnath Paneah. Zaphnath Paneah, Khan. That was long.
Khan.
And he gave him a wife, Esna, the daughter of Potiphera, priest of On. And Joseph went out over all the land of Egypt.
Right.
And Joseph was 30 years old. Go ahead.
Salakia. So back in the beginning, we see Joseph was 17 years old around the time it was told Joseph was 17 years old around the time when his brothers sold him to the Midianites, and the Midianites sold him into slavery into Egypt, right? Throughout that time, all the way up until now, it was 13 years. 13 years before Joseph got into got into his glory. You know what I'm saying? It got to be revealed to him as far as like the position that the Most High set him up for real. Like really that whole process, the plan in that process and what happened was to put him in the position that he got put in here with being in second in command of Pharaoh. There wasn't nothing that nobody could do or anything without without Joseph, unless the Pharaoh was in his seat. So it's like if there was anything anybody needed or whatever like that, you had to go to who? Joseph.
That's right. That's right.
That was the most. That's that like yo. Most High willing everybody is seeing how this plan is working out, and you thinking about this while we going through this life in our days. You know what I'm saying? Because there's going to be things that we got to go through. You know what I'm saying? There is more, but for the sake of time, I'm gonna give it to you like so. If you read chapter 42, it's going to talk about everything as far as what Joseph did throughout the process of the first 7 good years and how he got everything established and set up to get prepared for the 7 years of famine, right? And it also talks about as far as like how he orchestrated certain things throughout those years of famine, and his brothers came along, right? But Yaquab, jump to Genesis chapter 43 and verse 28. If y'all want to have I might do this. I might do a part 2. If they decide they want to have a part 2 of this, just to go into more reading, because I don't mind doing this. I thought this was fun for real. You know, we could definitely do a part 2 and go into it more and read throughout the rest of the chapters and things. But read this in Genesis 43 and verse 28.
I got you. Genesis 43 and 28. And they answered, thy servant, our father, is in good health. He is yet alive. And they bowed down their heads and made obeisance.
Right. So this is what we was talking about earlier before. So when they came into Egypt, you know what I'm saying, Joseph noticed them, but they didn't know that it was Joseph, you know. And Joseph called them spies, you know what I'm saying? And he put them in jail, and then he released them and kept Simeon and told them, you know, to bring their brother. And when they went and told Jacob what happened, Jacob, of course, you know, he was disappointed, he was displeased. That's the same reason why he didn't send his youngest son down there in the first place, so he didn't get in the mischief, because he ain't want him to get in no trouble. So when they told him that Joseph commanded them to bring the younger brother, because he was under the impression, because he was the youngest, there was no way that they could bring the younger brother, because they sold him to the Midianites, which sold him into slavery, right? So Joseph didn't even know as far as like this other brother that they had, right? So they went and sent for him, but the father said, no, you ain't going to send him down. And then it goes into the corn that Joseph gave to them. He gave them corn, right? And he gave them the money back that they was spending to get the corn, you know, and they was afraid for that. And when they ate through all that corn, they had to go and get more corn. Jacob was sending them to go get more corn, but Judah answered him and said, yo, we can't go down there. We can't go down there unless we bring our brother. You know what I'm saying? Because if they did, they was going to be in trouble, because the Pharaoh put him in command of all of that stuff. So Joseph, of course, he was the overseer, all that. So he would have had to see their face again. So of course they had to bring their brother. And then we see when we read in chapter 43, you know what I'm saying? Their time came when they seen him again, and he gave obeisance. They gave obeisance to him. So that was told of the dream that Joseph had, that vision that he had, you know what I'm saying? That actually happened. It happened in a way where it was like they didn't even know it. But at the end of the day, as it was showed to him by the Most High, that's exactly what happened. Somebody grab me the book of Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 5. Read 4, 5, and 6. And Adawan, if you can you grab Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5 and verse 1?
You said Deuteronomy chapter 4.
Khan, and read verse 5 and 6.
Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, and even the Lord thy God commanded me that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
Right? So the task at hand that the Most High was said unto Moses to give to us was to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments and do them. And in the eyes of the other people, they're going to say, isn't this a wise and understanding people? Right now, we're not seeing that, right? These words is like a vision to us to ponder on or to meditate on, because this is supposed to be something that's going to come to pass, right? This is the vision that we're that's being brought to us to be able to see. Like, okay, so when we are operating in the Most High and keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, they're going to say, isn't this a wise and understanding people? Right? Read that in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5 and 1, Baba Kashai, and read the 1 to verse 3. And Yaikwai, can you grab Deuteronomy 7 and 6? You on mute, Adawan.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, starting in verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as hath afflicted him, and made no account of his labor. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they looked for. And they, repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, shall say within themselves, this is he whom we had sometimes in derision, and a proverb of reproach.
Yo, this is a vision, right? Solomon is kicking us a vision that's going. He's giving us a vision of something that's going to come to pass. The vision is, you know what I'm saying, we gonna be looking. We gonna be looking like our children or children's children's gonna be looking and saying, is this he whom had sometimes in derision and a proverb and reproach? These is the people who had us in derision. These is the people who had us in the captivity. These are the people who had us in the Babylon and confusion. These is the people who had us rapping lyrics talking about killing one another and females being whores and all kind of nonsense, right? These is the people who had us thinking like, you know, this is the lifestyle that we supposed to live, is YOLO, you know what I'm saying? Live it up, right? This is the vision that Solomon is giving us that, you know, we get to envision now, because we haven't seen this yet. This hasn't happened yet. But everything that's going on right now is all according to the Most High's plan, right? Somebody, can you grab Proverbs, Slakia, I think it's 19 and 21.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 19 and verse 21. There are many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord shall stand.
Right? So there's many, like, we have many plans, right? There's many plans that we could come up with and that we have, but at the end of the day, the Most High, the counsel of the Most High shall stand. So whatever the Most High decides that he wants to go out, that's what's going to happen. Right? Do you got that, Yaikwab, in Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6?
I got Deuteronomy 7 and 6.
Khan, Adawan, can you grab Baruch chapter 4 and verse 1? Well, go ahead and read that, Yaikwab.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and 6.
Kind.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all that are upon the face of the earth.
Right? So we are supposed to be a nation that's above all people on the face of the earth. Is that happening right now? No, that's not happening right now. This is something that's given to us because this is a vision. This is another vision. We supposed to be above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Right now, we're not above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Right now, we going through what Joseph went through. You know what I'm saying? We're being refined. We're being tried. We got to go through these trials. Slaki, what was you saying? I don't want you on mute.
No, I was just saying that's right.
Oh, kind. So this is what we got to go through to get the kingdom, to get the acceptance of the Most High, as we read earlier in Sirach. The beginning of the fear of the Lord. The fear of the Lord is being accepted of Him. Salakia, let me not butcher that. Run to it real quick. Sirach 24 and verse 23. No. Salakia. Sirach, I think it's 11 and 15. Or where did I have you go earlier? Salakia. No, it's 1918. Salakia. Sirach 19 and verse 18. It says, the fear of the Lord is the first step to be accepted of Him, and wisdom obtaining His love. So this is the first step to being accepted of the Most High, right? To fear Him, keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, right? As we learn in John 5, 1 John 5 and 3, it tells us, let me get it real quick. It's just there, and it left me so fast. It reads, this is the book of 1 John 5 and 3, for this is the love of God, that we keep His commandments, and His commandments are not grievous, right? These commandments ain't going to kill you to do them. It's not going to kill you to not eat pork. It's actually going to help you live. It's not going to kill you to stop eating shellfish, shrimp, crab, lobster, fish without fins and scales. It's actually going to help you so you be able to live, right? It's not going to kill you to not gorge food. It's actually going to help you, right? It's going to help you health-wise. It's not going to kill you to not sleep with your brother's wife. It's actually going to help you so your brother don't kill you. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's saying the commandments are grievous. You know what I'm saying? Sirach teaches us it's going to be hard at first. We have to be tried. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be hard at first. But once we get through that phase, then it's going to be easy. It's going to be like second nature. Right?
Right.
Who got that? You got that in Baruch chapter 4 and verse 1?
Fine, I got it. It's the book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse number 1. This is the book of the commandments of God, and the law that endures forever. All that keep it shall come to life.
Right.
But such as leave it shall die.
Right. So this is the task that we got to do. If we want to come to life or have life, as Baruch said, what we got to do? Keep these commandments. Right. Yaiqua, can you grab Deuteronomy 10 and 12? And I don't want to grab Sirach 24 and 23. We got to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. Right? If we want to have life and we want to be able to live, if we want the Most High to be able to rock with us like he rocked with Job, like he rocked with Joseph, like he rocked with all the prophets, you know what I'm saying, and was there for him, and like he said he would be there for us, what do we got to do? We got to keep the commandments. Go ahead and read that in Deuteronomy. You got it?
What was it in Deuteronomy?
Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 12.
Deuteronomy 10 and 12.
Kind.
And now, Israel, what doeth the Lord thy God require of thee, but to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul.
Read on.
To keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, which I command thee this day, for thy good.
For what?
For thy good.
So he's saying you're going to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments for your good. This is what's going to be good for you. This is what's going to help you not go through situations. It's not, don't listen to the world. Don't listen to the music that they promoting, that they making. They telling you, oh, we're going to give you this money. You know what I'm saying? If you make this type of music, don't listen to the world doing this, where it's going to do what? Get you killed. If not, get you killed by the police, get you killed by your own brother. You know what I'm saying? Get you killed by any of the other nations, because they got you out here doing stuff that you're not supposed to be doing. If you listening to music, and I know a lot of people, they listen to the rap music, what's going on today. Listen to some of the music that they got over there in them other countries, and you be surprised at the way that they talking. You're not going to find a bunch of songs that's like ours. And not saying that makes us special, that it actually makes us look bad. It makes us look terrible, for real. Because the way that the other nations look at us and see us and hear our music, they like, these people crazy. They want to kill themselves and kill each other, because that's all the music, that's all they talking about in the music. And music is a major influence. That's the reason why I'm pointing it out. I'm a music head. You know what I'm saying? I make music. So I know that's one major influence that we have in our community that's bringing us down, for real. They had to get rid of all the inspiring and conscious rap so they could put all this negative stuff in our ears, you know. That way we can do as such. You can't go to a club and have a good time and just kick it and dance and do whatever, because you busy got somebody talking about, you know what I'm saying, shoot a nigga, he the ops, blah, blah, blah. So that's the energy that brothers is on when they in them places. That's the energy that sisters is on when they in them places. Sisters getting buck up, swinging on men. Like, that's what we doing? Come on, man. Shlakia, you want to say something, Adawan?
No, man, I'm just agreeing with you.
Okay. Can you grab that in Sirach 24 and 23?
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 4 and 24 and verse 23. All these things are the book of the covenant of the Most High God, even the law which Moses commanded. Shalaki, you want to stop? Keep going. Okay. I'm reading from the top again. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 24 and verse 23. All these things are the book of the covenant of the Most High God, even the law which Moses commanded for an heritage unto the congregation of Jacob.
So the Most High, he gave us a task. The plan was, as we was told in the book of Deuteronomy, which everybody knows about, Deuteronomy 28, you know what I'm saying? If you keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, these blessings are going to come upon you. If you don't keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, these curses are going to come upon you. Not only did the Most High give us the task, and then he told us in Deuteronomy, 30 and 19 that he gave us blessing and cursing and all of that, and gave us the cheat code, which he said, choose life.
And let me read this next verse. Verse 20. It says, faint not to be strong in the Lord, and he may confirm you. Cleave unto him, for the Lord Almighty is God alone, and beside him there is no other Savior.
That's right. That's a fact. That's why when it comes to when we going through whatever we're going through, what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to lean onto the Most High. We're supposed to cast our burdens and cares onto the Most High.
Wow.
That way he be able to give us the strength to be able to go through the things, whatever it is that he's putting us through. Just like we read in Corinthians, you know what I'm saying? He ain't going to put nothing on us that's too hard to bear, nor is he going to put anything on us that he's not going to give us a way to escape from. So the Most High, he's going to make a way for us. But the same way that he makes for us, we also have to make our way to the Most High. That way he makes that way for us. It works both ways. But I ain't going to keep y'all too long because I know the time going in. That was my lesson. I hope everybody was edified with that. Do y'all have anything to say?
Khan, I want to bring out this last precept in Sirach 4 and 28. I referenced it earlier, but I feel like it's a good point, good scripture to bring out right now. The book of Sirach chapter 4 and verse number 28, and it reads, "Strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee." Right? And that's what Joseph was doing. He's striving for the truth unto death. And we understand that the things written aforetime were written for our learning. Right? Matter of fact, James, let me get that. Romans 15:4. Right? We got to understand these things are written down for a reason. Right? Because at the end of the day, we as a people have lost our heritage. Right? So this is us coming back to our heritage. So we have to read about our forefathers, our foremothers, and see when they went through these type of situations. Right, when the Lord put them in these type of situations, what did they do? How did they come up out of these things? Right? So let's get that. Romans 15:4.
Romans 15:4.
Uh-huh.
For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
And that's right. So we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. These type of things, right? Knowing that if I cleave unto the Lord, right, he gonna fight for me. If I keep his law, statutes, commandments, right, and not make haste in the time of trouble, but cleave unto him, like I just said, or like the scripture said, and he gonna fight, he gonna help, he gonna pull me out of the situation that I'm in. Right? The situation I'm in is already a bad one, but if I don't lean on my own understanding, the Most High is gonna fight. The Most High is gonna pull me about it. He gonna make. There's nothing in the eyes of the Most High to make a poor man rich, as we seen in this story right here that the brother Boaz eloquently brought out, right through the Spirit, right. So what we gonna do is we say strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. We got to remember that. We have to remember that in these last days, right?
That's right.
We're gonna go through perilous times. We're gonna get brought down to low states, right? Your family is gonna go up against you. Your job is gonna come up against you, right? But cleave unto the Lord, and we're gonna be out. All praise to the Most High.
That's right. Hey, can you got anything to say, Soda James?
Nah, I'm just happy to be on here with y'all, yeah.
Oh, kind. All praises, man. Happy to have you with us too, man.
Right.
Can you get
I'm already here.
You already there. Let's go.
All right. Let's get that Daniel 7:18.
Kind.
But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever and ever.
Kind. Shimmer Mashiach Yahweh. Kind, man. I hope everybody has a wonderful Sabbath. Be safe if you're traveling, going to camp. You know what I'm saying? Make sure take your Bible and a pen and pad and take notes and write them scriptures down, man. All right? That way we can get up out of here, Israel. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep these laws, statutes, and commandments and do what we're supposed to do. That way we can get up out of here. Khan? Khan. Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
Shalom.
This is not a test.
Black skin, black sauce, black Jesus, black music, black skin, black sauce, black Jesus, black music, black skin, black sauce.
All praises to the Most High. And I ain't letting know. Tell the devil it ain't enough. Nah. I know what you going through. Keep going. I'm sure if they had their way, I been stopped. See, I can see them from a mile away. They in the cut, know how I play. Never been the fool, won't start the day. And I'ma play my part. Much is given, much required. I won't let them treat me out my place. Up, I gotta show I'm from how they play it hard. Don't know why I thought that it would change. When I came in, it's true. Once you peep the facial loans, then you're cool. The way they play the game, flaw, I never do. Stay in your place, I'm like a paw to these little dudes. And we gon' give most out of praise, he brought me through it. My mind stay like anything, we could do it. We putting work up on this faith and we improve. I tried to tell them I ain't new to this. First we did it, now they doing this. Sticking to the manuscript. I think they follow the blueprint. Elohim sending me to not go. Tell my enemies to step it up. Tell the devil it ain't a no. Keep on going on and on and on and on and on. I'm fighting. I'm fighting. I ain't letting no. I'm gonna keep on going on and on and on. It ain't a no. And on. Tell the devil it ain't a no. I'm fighting. Look at all what we done been through. We done overcame all that they pretend to unfold. We don't bend. We knew in due time we would overcome. It's like a jungle sometimes. It made me wonder how I keep from going on. Can't experience, I don't worry. Most I say look up at the birds, think about it. Call them bird brain, but somehow they maintain. If I do that for them, if for you, don't you think I'ma do the same thing or more? Gratitude, grateful. He said no one gotta support you. I separate. Get two, walk together, let's stay agree. Be the hand, I be the knee. Don't matter to me, get on your job, no indeed. Don't wanna hear your sob story, no indeed. Teach you how to live this life for peace. Take the choice, blessings and curses. You know we in the week, and you can't stand next to me if you pretend. Before the 12, we endure to the end. Let's go. I'm fighting, yes sir. I'm fighting. This the most going on.